Have you ever felt stuck in a cycle, chasing connection but never quite getting it right? You're not alone. Most guys stumble through relationships, reacting on instinct, hoping for approval, or worse, losing themselves trying to be someone they're not. But here's the truth that changes everything. Real connection doesn't come from chasing it, comes from understanding, from seeing the hidden patterns of human behavior and leading with confidence, authenticity, and respect. Imagine this. You're at a bar, watching a guy fumble his words, trying too hard to impress a woman who's already checked out. Now picture yourself in his place, calm, grounded, sparking a conversation that lights her up, not because you're playing games, but because you get her. That's the power of knowing how relationships really work. This guide is your roadmap. 8 game-changing insights into female psychology that will transform how you connect not just with women, but with everyone. Don't skip a second of this, because by the end, you'll see relationships in a whole new light. Grab a pen, hit pause if you need to, and let's dive in. 1. Recognize her need for authentic validation. Here's a truth we all feel deep down. Everyone, man or woman, craves to be truly seen, not just for how they look, but for who they are at their core. For women, this need runs especially deep. It's not about vanity. It's about being valued for what makes them unique. Think about it. A woman walks into a room, and guys line up with the same tired lines. You're gorgeous. You have a great smile. Sure, it's nice, but she's heard it 1,000 times. It's background noise, like elevator music. Now, imagine you're different. You notice something real, something others miss. Maybe it's how she quietly steadies a tense conversation with a single word, or how her eyes light up when she talks about her favorite book, or the way she organizes her thoughts before speaking, like she's painting a picture with her words. You say, "I love how you bring this calm energy to chaos." It's rare. Pause. Her world shifts. She thinks, "Wait, he sees me, not just my face, but me." That's the moment you stand out. You're not just another guy, you're the one who gets her. Why does this work? Because authentic validation taps into a universal human need. We all want to feel understood, like our quirks and qualities matter. For women, society often amplifies this, with pressure to be perfect, likable, or beautiful. When you cut through that noise and see her individuality, you create a bond that feels rare. Let's make it real. Picture you're on a date. She's telling a story about her day, and you notice she laughs nervously when she mentions a tough moment at work. Most guys would nod and move on. Not you. You say, "You handled that with grace, didn't you?" I bet most people wouldn't even notice how much strength that took. Her guard drops. She feels safe, valued, seen. In long-term relationships, this is even more powerful. Life gets busy, kids, bills, routines, but you keep noticing. Maybe her hairstyle changed slightly, or she's been quieter lately, wrestling with a dream she hasn't voiced. You say, "I've noticed you're carrying something big lately. Want to share it? I'm here." That's not just love, that's presence. It's showing her she's not invisible, even when the world feels heavy. Here's the key. Don't fake it. Generic flattery falls flat, and she'll sense it. Pay attention like a detective, but keep it natural. Notice the small things, her habits, her passions, her subtle shifts in mood. Then, speak with calm precision. Not, "You're amazing," but, "The way you light up when you talk about your art, it's contagious." In friendships, dating, or marriage, this builds trust. She knows you're not just coasting. You're invested in who she is. Over time, that connection becomes her anchor, because you've given her something rare, a mirror that reflects her true self. Action step. Train yourself to spot what makes her unique. Listen closely, observe her in different moments, and voice your observations with sincerity. Avoid shallow compliments and focus on her character, choices, or energy. 2. Embrace. Emotional variety for engagement. Here's a truth most guys miss. Relationships thrive on balance, not monotony. Women, like men, are drawn to experiences that keep things fresh, vibrant, alive. Stability is crucial, it's the foundation. But predictability? That can quietly drain the spark. Imagine you're on a date, maybe your fourth. Most guys fall into one of two traps. They're either boring, same dinner, same small talk, same routine, or they're chaotic, overly dramatic, or needy. You're different. You weave a rhythm that keeps her guessing, but in a good way. One night, you're playful, teasing her about her quirky coffee order with a grin that says, "I'm on to you." The next, you're deep, asking her what she'd do if fear wasn't holding her back. Another time, you surprise her with a random evening walk to a spot she's never seen, just because. You're not erratic, you're dynamic. She never knows exactly what's coming, but she trusts you'll keep it real. That's what keeps her hooked. Why does this matter? Humans crave emotional variety. It's not about chaos, it's about keeping the connection alive with new energy. Think of it like a good story, it needs twists, not just a straight line. Early in dating, this might mean switching up your vibe. One moment, you're light and funny, making her laugh until her sides hurt. The next, you're sharing a quiet thought about life that makes her pause and reflect. You text when it feels right, but sometimes you're off-grid, focused on your goals, leaving her curious. In long-term relationships, this is even more critical. Routine can creep in: work, chores, Netflix. But you break the cycle. Plan a spontaneous weekend trip, just the two of you. Or set a new goal together, like training for a 5K. Even small shifts, like cooking a new recipe or debating a random philosophy over wine, keep the energy fresh. She stays engaged because you're not just her partner, you're her spark. Here's how to do it. Be intentional, but not over the top. Small, thoughtful surprises work better than grand gestures. Maybe you leave a handwritten note for her to find, or you challenge her to a silly game that turns into an inside joke. In a relationship, share new dreams, maybe a project you're tackling or a hobby you're picking up. Let her see you evolve. It's not about being unpredictable for the sake of it. It's about showing you're alive, growing, and inviting her into that journey. The key? Stay grounded. Your stability lets her enjoy the variety without feeling unsteady. She'll lean in, not because you're playing games, but because you make life feel vibrant within a safe space. Action step. Plan small, thoughtful surprises, or shifts in energy, playful one day, deep the next. Keep evolving personally to bring fresh energy to the relationship, always rooted in authenticity. 3. Build your social value. Let's talk about something real. People are drawn to those who stand out, not because they're loud or flashy, but because they carry themselves with purpose. A woman often values a partner who's respected, not just by her, but by others. It's not about ego. It's about how your presence reflects on her sense of pride. Picture this. You walk into a room, and heads turn, not because you're showing off, but because you're confident, focused, moving with intention. Maybe you're killing it at work, or you're the guy who stays calm when everyone else panics. Her friends notice. He's got his life together, they say. Her family sees it too, your discipline, your drive. Even strangers pick up on it. That's social value, and it's magnetic. It makes her feel proud to be by your side, like she's part of something bigger. Why does this matter? Humans are social creatures. We care about how we're perceived, and a partner's status shapes that. It's not shallow, it's instinct. A woman wants to know you're someone others respect because it ties into her own identity. Early in dating, this shows up subtly. Maybe you're telling a story about a work win, not bragging, just owning it. Or you handle a rude waiter with calm assertiveness, and she thinks, wow, he's different. In long-term relationships, it's even deeper. You keep growing, maybe you're learning a new skill, expanding your network, or getting in the best shape of your life. She sees you as a man on a mission, and it strengthens her commitment. She's not just with you for love. She's proud of who you are in the world. How do you build this? It's not about faking it or chasing clout. It's about becoming your best self. Start small. Set goals, maybe a promotion, a fitness milestone, or mastering a hobby. Show up consistently, whether it's at the gym or in conversations. Carry yourself with quiet confidence, not arrogance. Listen more than you talk, but when you speak, make it count. Surround yourself with people who push you to grow, because your circle shapes your vibe. At a party, don't be the guy begging for attention, be the one who's engaged, present, adding value. Over time, this builds a reputation. People notice your work ethic, your composure, your growth, and she feels it too. Her pride in you becomes a bond, because being with you feels like being part of something solid. Here's the catch. Don't do it for her. Do it for you. Social value built on authenticity lasts. Chasing approval crumbles. When you focus on your purpose, the respect follows naturally. She'll see a man who's not just good for her, but good for the world around him, and that's a powerful draw. Action step. Set personal goals for growth, career, fitness, or skills, and pursue them consistently. Carry yourself with quiet confidence, and surround yourself with people who inspire you to be better. 4. Lead with calm confidence. Let's get real about leadership. It's not about barking orders or being the loudest guy in the room. It's about stepping up with a quiet strength that makes others feel secure. Many women appreciate a partner who can take charge not to control, but to create a space where trust and respect thrive. Imagine you're planning a date. Most guys either overthink it, asking her to decide everything, or they go overboard, forcing their way without listening. You're different. You say, "I've got this. Let's try this new spot I found. Trust me, you'll love it." But you also ask, "Any food you're craving?" It's decisive, but open. She relaxes, knowing you've got it handled, but her voice matters. That's leadership: clear, calm, inclusive. Why does this resonate? Life can be overwhelming. Work stress, family drama, endless choices. A woman often values a partner who can cut through the noise with steady direction. It's not about her being weak. It's about you being a rock. Early on, this might look like choosing a date spot with confidence or gently setting a boundary like, "Hey, let's keep phones off for dinner. I want to focus on you." She feels your strength, but also your respect. In long-term relationships, this is huge. Picture a tough moment, maybe a financial hiccup or a family disagreement. She's stressed, emotions running high. You don't panic or argue. You say, "Let's figure this out together. Here's what I think we should do." Then you listen. Your calm focus pulls her back to center. She trusts you, not because you demand it, but because you're steady when it counts. How do you pull this off? Start with small decisions. Plan a weekend activity without overthinking. Pick a hike, a cafe, a movie. Communicate clearly, like, "I'd love to take you here. Sound good?" It shows you're thoughtful, not controlling. Set boundaries with kindness. Maybe you say, "I need an hour to unwind after work. Then I'm all yours." It's firm but fair. In tough moments, don't react impulsively. If she's upset, listen, then respond with clarity, like, "I hear you're frustrated. Let's talk through what's going on." Your calm becomes her anchor. Over time, this builds a dynamic where she leans into your leadership, not out of obligation, but because it feels safe and balanced. Here's the key. Leadership isn't about power, it's about responsibility. You're not trying to dominate. You're creating a partnership where both of you thrive. Stay open to her ideas, but don't shy away from taking the lead when it's needed. She'll value the clarity you bring, especially in moments of chaos, because it lets her breathe. Action step. Practice making decisions with confidence, from small plans to bigger life choices. Communicate clearly, set kind boundaries, and listen to her input to build a balanced, trusting dynamic. 5. Support her independence. Let's talk about strength. Many women today are fiercely independent, handling their careers, finances, and lives with confidence. But here's the thing. That strength often comes with a hidden weight. Constantly making decisions, solving problems, Staying on guard can be exhausting. Deep down, even the strongest women sometimes crave a moment to let go, not because they're weak, but because they're human. This isn't about taking away their power. It's about offering support that lets them breathe. Picture this. You're dating a woman who's got it all together, running her own business, managing her schedule like a pro. She says, "I don't need anyone. I'm good on my own." Most guys either back off, intimidated, or try to compete, pushing her away. You're different. You respect her strength, but you see the subtle signs of fatigue. Maybe she's stressed about a work deadline. You don't take over, you step in. You say, "You're killing it, but how about I handle dinner tonight? You deserve a break." She exhales, grateful, because you've honored her independence while offering relief. Why does this work? Independence is a badge of honor, but it can be draining to carry alone. Women, like anyone, sometimes want a partner who can lighten the load without making them feel less capable. Early in dating, this might look like noticing she's overwhelmed and offering help without being asked. Maybe she's juggling a busy week. You say, "I know you've got this, but I'm happy to pick up groceries if it saves you time." It's small, but it shows you're paying attention. In long-term relationships, this is even more powerful. Life throws curveballs, job changes, family stress, big decisions. She's used to handling it all, but you step up. Maybe you research a problem she's facing, like a home repair, and say, "I looked into this. Here's what I found. What do you think?" You're not undermining her, you're a teammate. She feels supported, not diminished, and that builds trust. How do you do this? Start by observing. Notice when she's stretched thin, maybe she's quieter, more tense. Don't assume she needs saving. Assume she's strong but could use a partner. Offer help in small, specific ways. Like, "I'll take care of the plans this weekend." You just show up. Respect her ability to lead where she shines, but step in where she might appreciate relief, like handling a tough conversation with a vendor. Always check in, like, "Is there anything you'd rather I take off your plate?" It shows you value her autonomy. Over time, she'll see you as a safe space, where she can be strong but also rest, knowing you've got her back. Here's the key. Never make her feel small. Celebrate her independence, but be the person she can lean on without losing herself. That balance creates a bond where she trusts you, not because you take over, but because you lift her up. Action step. Observe when she's overwhelmed and offer specific, thoughtful support without undermining her strength. Ask how you can help, and respect her autonomy while being a reliable partner. 6. Stay grounded during emotional tests. Here's something every guy needs to know. Relationships aren't always smooth sailing sometimes. You'll face moments that test your strength. Not because she's trying to mess with you, but because emotions can spark moments of doubt or tension. Maybe she makes a playful jab at your taste in music, or she pulls back a bit, seeming distant. These aren't attacks. They're often her way of checking if you're steady, if you can handle her real self. Picture this. You're out with a woman, and she teases, "You really think that old band is cool?" with a smirk. Most guys take the bait. They get defensive, argue, or try to prove themselves. You're different. You flash a grin, lean back and say, "Oh, you're throwing shade now. All right, tell me your top band, and we'll see who's got taste." Light, calm, redirecting the energy. She laughs, and the tension melts. She's not testing you to fight. She's testing if you'll stay grounded. Why does this matter? Emotional tests happen because people, women included, want to feel secure with someone who doesn't waver under pressure. It's not about manipulation. It's about trust. Early in dating, these moments might be small, a sarcastic comment, a moment of silence after a disagreement. Most guys react poorly. They get upset, chase approval, or shut down. But when you stay calm, you send a message. "I'm solid. You can be real with me." In long-term relationships, these tests evolve. Maybe it's stress from work spilling over, and she snaps about something small, like leaving dishes out. Instead of snapping back, you pause, look at her and say, "Sounds like you've had a rough day. Want to talk about it?" You're not dodging the issue, you're addressing it with poise. She feels safe, knowing you won't crumble when emotions run high. How do you do this? First, don't take it personally. A jab or a mood shift is often more about her than you. Maybe she's stressed, insecure, or just testing the waters. Stay centered. If she teases, respond with humor, like, "You're gonna have to try harder than that to rattle me." If she's distant, give her space, but stay warm, like, "I'm here when you're ready to connect." In tougher moments, like an argument, listen first. Say, "I hear you're upset. Let's work through this." It shows strength without escalation. Practice this in small moments. Maybe a friend challenges your opinion. Stay cool, redirect, keep the vibe positive. Over time, she'll see you as a rock, someone who can handle her highs and lows without losing your footing. Here's the key. Staying grounded isn't about ignoring emotions, it's about managing them with clarity. You're not a doormat, but you're not a hothead either. Your calm presence builds trust, because she knows she can be herself, messy, emotional, real, and you'll hold steady. Action step. When faced with emotional tests, pause, stay calm, and respond with humor or a gentle redirect. Listen actively in conflicts, and show you can handle tension without losing your cool. 7. Create meaningful, shared experiences. Let's talk about what makes a relationship unforgettable. It's not just words or promises, it's the moments you share, the ones that stick in her heart long after they're over. Women often connect deeply through experiences, those unique memories that become the glue of your bond. Think about it. Anyone can take her to dinner, but creating something special, that's what sets you apart. Picture this. You're early in dating, and instead of another coffee shop meetup, you take her to a quiet rooftop at sunset, just the two of you, with a playlist you made of songs she mentioned. You don't make a big deal of it. You just say, "Thought you'd like this view." She's floored, not by the grandeur, but by the thought you put into it. That moment becomes a story she'll tell years later, because it felt like yours. Why does this matter? Memories are emotional anchors. They're what she thinks of when times get tough, what makes your connection feel irreplaceable. Humans, especially women, tie emotions to experiences more than logic. A shared moment, big or small, creates a thread that binds you. Early on, this might be a spontaneous adventure, like pulling her into a bookstore to pick out a novel you'll both read, or creating an inside joke during a goofy cooking fail. In long-term relationships, it's even deeper. Maybe you face a challenge together, like saving for a trip and celebrate it with a private ritual, like toasting with cheap wine under the stars. These moments aren't random, they're deliberate. When she thinks of you, she doesn't just think, "He's nice." She remembers the time you danced in the rain or built a terrible campfire that made you both laugh until you cried. How do you do this? Be intentional, but keep it real. You don't need money or flash, just thoughtfulness. Early in dating, plan something tied to her interests. If she loves art, take her to a local gallery, then sketch silly doodles together afterward. In a relationship, create traditions, maybe a monthly no-tech night where you talk or play a board game. Or mark milestones, like the day you met, with a small gesture, like revisiting your first date spot. Even challenges can become memories. Say you're moving apartments together, stressed and sweaty. Turn it into a story by blasting music and making it a team effort. These moments become your history, and when conflicts arise, they remind her why you're worth fighting for. Here's the key. Make it personal. Generic dates fade. Experiences tailored to her or to us stick. You're not just spending time, you're building a world together. Over time, she'll see your relationship as a tapestry of moments no one else could recreate. And that's what makes it sacred. Action step. Plan unique, thoughtful experiences tied to her interests or your shared story. Create small traditions or turn challenges into memorable moments to deepen your bond. 8. Understand her deeply. Let's talk about what truly sets a relationship apart. It's not just love or attraction, it's the feeling of being known, truly known, without judgment. Women, like all of us, crave someone who sees beyond the surface, who gets their fears, dreams, and quiet struggles. This kind of understanding is rare, and when you offer it, it becomes a cornerstone of your bond. Picture this. You're sitting with her after a long day, and she's quieter than usual. Most guys might brush it off or try to fix it with a quick, "What's wrong?" You're different. You notice the way her shoulders slump, the way she hesitates before answering. You say, "You seem like you're carrying something heavy today. I'm here if you want to share." You don't push, you just hold space. She opens up, maybe about a work stress or a deeper fear, and you listen, really listen. Later, you reflect. I admire how you keep pushing through, even when it's tough. That takes guts. She feels seen, not just heard, and that's everything. Why does this matter? Being understood is a human need, but for women, it's often amplified. Society can make them feel they need to hide their vulnerabilities to be strong or likable. When you see her flaws, strengths, all of it, and respond with compassion, you create a safe haven. Early in dating, this might look like catching a subtle hint in her story. Maybe she mentions a childhood memory with a flicker of sadness. You don't gloss over it, you say, "That sounds like it shaped you in a big way. What was that like for you?" She feels you're not just there for the fun moments, but for the real ones too. In long-term relationships, this deepens. Life brings challenges, loss, career shifts, self-doubt. You notice when she's struggling, even if she doesn't say it. Maybe she's been quieter since a friend's argument. You say, "I've noticed you've been off since that thing with your friend. Want to talk it through?" Your empathy becomes her anchor, because she knows you see her heart, not just her face. How do you do this? Listen beyond. This guide is your roadmap to real connection. It's not about tricks, it's about building trust, respect, and understanding. These 8 insights help you become a man who doesn't chase approval, but earns it through authenticity. Start small. Pick one principle like validating her uniqueness and try it today. Share your thoughts in the comments, and let's inspire each other. Like and share if this resonated. Keep growing and build relationships that thrive.